these big crowds, but now I have to tell you, there's more spirit now. We won in 2016. We did much better in 2020, but it was rigged. It was rigged. But this is bigger than 2020. This is bigger than 2016. And I think the reason is you like me a lot, but you know what you really like? When you look at the incompetent administration that we have with the inflation, with the Afghanistan, with all of the things they've done wrong, everything, the borders are. When you look at how bad they are, you say, you know, I like Trump, and now I really like Trump because we don't want to go back. Front row Joes. Front row Joe. You know, front row Joes, they've been to 201. I hate to tell you that, North Carolina. They've beat you 201, and they were to a rough one last week. That was a rough one. I saw them. They were sitting in the front row, and things were happening that weren't too nice, right? Amazing, right? But they were there, and they didn't move. You know, amazing. Nobody moved. When a bullet goes off, it's a freak thing, but a bullet goes off, crowds always run, they call it a stampede. Nobody ran. And we had 55,000 people, nobody ran. You could see the small group we had behind. And, no, you could see the group behind because the camera was on. We had a tremendous, you know, like hundreds of people from the press. We had cameras going on, and you could see behind me, they were like this. How about the guy right behind me in the black with the green hat? And he's looking like this. You know, that guy was, I want to meet him. But they had a lot of guys like that back there. But did you see him? They've only played that clip about 5,000 times. They see it every day. It's over and over. But you see how brave. Normally when something like that happens, everybody but Richard will leave. Richard will stay. He's a tough cookie. But no, everybody scrambles. They run. Nobody ran. Same thing with the group out front. The group out front was the big group. Thousands and thousands of people. Nobody left. They just stood there watching because they saw that I was in trouble. Either I was in trouble or something was happening because I had a lot of blood on my hand. I checked out. I said, oh, yay, what's this? But no, they saw that. And when I went down, they saw that, and nobody left. It was like, the whole thing is like a big love fest, let's face it. It's a whole big love fest. It's amazing. We love you, man. We love you. We love you. We love you. That was a horrible thing. That was a rough thing. And say what you want, the Secret Service, the ones on this day, or the day is these guys right here, the tough cookies, they ran. Bullets were flying. Bullets were flying and they were running right at me. And it was a rough, horrible, horrible time. And they said, sir, we have a stretcher for you. I said, you're not putting me on a stretcher. They had a stretcher. I said, that's not going to look very good if I get carried out on a stretcher. Hello, everybody. Okay, everybody. They said, I'm not good. Where are my shoes? My shoes got knocked off. They tackled me so damn hard. But it was a terrible thing in so many ways. And as you know, we lost somebody who was fantastic. Corey, fantastic. His family is fantastic. And two other great people. These are great people. I got to know their families a little bit. And, you know, the public has really been generous to them, too. They opened up their hearts to I won't even tell you, the numbers are so incredible. But they opened up their hearts to the three of them. And these two were hurt very badly, but they're both now in pretty good shape. They'll soon be in very good shape. So, But I just looked down here at Front Row Joe's, and it just reminded me of that incident a week and a half ago, right? You were right there watching it, you saw it. And you guys, by the way, weren't moving either. I saw you, you didn't move. You were just, they were standing just like they're standing right now. They were standing. They were, they're great. They're great. And sad, such a distressed, sick world. But you know, it could be caused when they call you a threat to democracy. You never know what causes it. I'm a threat to them. They're a threat to democracy. They're a threat to our country, period. But that was some time we had. That was some rough time. But it was incredible. The people I got to know through that. I got to know some unbelievable and really brave people. But the next time they show that clip, which will be as soon as you get home, they'll show it about 30 times. They show it every day, over and over. But watch the people behind. They always stampede. If a bullet goes off or something happens at a soccer stadium or a stadium, and we had more people than most of those stadiums would have, everyone runs. Nobody ran. They stayed, and you have to look. The one guy, he just was so angry. He's looking. I gotta meet him. There's something about brave people that I love, right? People that love our country. He's up there. No, they're great people. And we had a great convention. We had a convention that broke all television ratings. How good was the Hulkster, right? Oh. And Kid Rock called. He wanted to be a part. He was fantastic. But they were all fantastic. It was the greatest. It was just a flawless convention. It was great. And the television ratings were record-setting ratings. You all read that. They were record-setting ratings, and it was just an honor. The stadium was beautiful. Milwaukee was beautiful. Wisconsin's promised me they're all going to vote for me now because we put $250 million into their economy. So we're going to win the great state of Wisconsin. But Milwaukee was great. They did a great job. The stadium is new. They built it for the basketball team, which is excellent. You know the Greek, right? The Greek. He's a good player, but they built it for the team, and it was like new. And it was one of the most, I think it was the greatest, I really believe it. It couldn't have been better. It was the greatest convention that anyone's seen thus far, Republican or Democrat. But getting back to a subject called Kamala was the worst. You know, I ask you this question because this has never happened before. So Biden's running. I wouldn't say his debate performance was one of the best, right? Do you agree? That's where it all started with the debate. The downfall started that night with the debate. The debate was like, that was a rough debate. He said, "Yo, I had a bad night." No, he had a bad night. He had a bad everything. He had a very bad night. But it started really with the debate. It was all, you know, the game was up. They say the jig was up. And it was indeed up. But it started with that, and then it only got worse. And we were leading him by 11, 12, 14, 15 points. And then he decides to get out because the bosses said, "We're not going to have you." He didn't want to get out, but they told him, "You're getting out." They said, "You're getting out. You're getting killed in the polls. You can't win." You saw that. You can't win. You're getting killed. So now they bring in this one who's worse than him. She's worse than him. Because he's a fake liberal. You know, he wasn't that liberal. He was fake. She's a real liberal. She really is a real liberal. She's much worse than him. Now, if we start beating her in the polls by 10 or 15 points, are they going to bring in a third candidate? It's like, you know, Trump is killing this guy. All right, out. Let's bring in a new one. Out, out. And then maybe at some point they get one right. When will that stop? And you know, the guy had 14 million votes. So much for democracy. You know, they talk about democracy. He had 14 million votes, and they said, "We're going to give it to somebody with no votes." She had no votes. In addition to her horrendous record as vice president, Kamala Harris has also been caught red-handed perpetrating the biggest scandal in American political history. For 3.5 years, Harris shamelessly lied to the public to cover up Joe Biden's mental unfitness, claiming that Crooked Joe was at the absolute top of his game. I don't think so. I don't think so. I wish him well, but I don't like him. He's not a nice person. I mean, he's not a nice person. He's trying to put me in jail. Why would I like him, right? That's the first time. First time. And she's the one behind it. And she's got a new line, you know. She's going, well, I'm the prosecutor. She's one of the worst prosecutors in history. She destroyed San Francisco. I'm the prosecutor, and he's the convicted felon or something. A radical left judge in an area where every one of these cases, every one of them is brought by them. So think of it. They get me to that position, and then their campaign says, I'm the prosecutor, and he is the convicted felon. That's their campaign. I don't think people are going to buy it. And we won our big case. You know, we won the case, and that was that big one. And I got out by beating their Justice Department. And he got out of the same case, except his was far different because he had 50 years of documents, right? He got out by being incompetent. The prosecutor said he had no memory. He basically said he's incompetent, so he shouldn't stand trial. Can you imagine? He can be president, but he can't stand trial. What's that about?